So when I did mention tracks, I'm gonna have my editor throw in some photos just of scale of comparison of size, shape, orientation of the track, just so you physically have something to look at of different species of birds, but what you're looking for in a turkey itself. Saying it out loud, turkey's gonna be bigger. Turkey is going to be, the largest biped, two-legged animal that is a bird walking around in forest and timber environments in New York. All right, so we're still scouting here and finding those roost areas. I love looking for aggressive topography. If you have hillside like this with tree growth coming out of the hillside, if there's trees in the middle of the hillside, why would that bird want to fly all the way from down here up into the tree when the bird can either walk up here, or if the bird's already on the flat topography above that tree, flying out into a roost is a hell of a lot easier than flying up into a roost. So you have any topography and there's tree growth on hillside of topography, those are actually really good spots to find roosting areas. Looking for scat under the trees, feathers adjacent to those trees, above it, below it, look for more scratching. And when that bird flies down, when those hens fly down, they're feeding, they're looking for food, you're gonna find a lot more scratching in those areas adjacent to roosting areas before they pick that destination point of where they're gonna go. All right, so scouting, early morning, destination points, fields edges, logging roads. If there's logging roads in the timber that head to fields edges, those are great destination points from roosting to logging road to the field. You're gonna find a lot more scratchings and a lot more turkey sign adjacent to those areas that they're using to commute, kind of like a highway. You know, we're predictable, we wake up, go to work, drive the same road. If the bird's left completely alone and not bothered, it's probably going to be taking the majority of the time taking the same path. The last scouting thing right here, if you don't know where the bird is sleeping, you're probably just guessing and you're really not hunting. Put in the time, energy, and effort before you even step out of the truck, before you even hunt the bird. I've had luck just going in blind, but I'm going in blind not necessarily knowing exactly where that bird is sleeping, but I know it's property that holds birds. So the more you can do with your approach on roosted birds, the chances significantly increase. However, what I stated before, those natural instincts to breed, you could show up to a property 5-6 hours after fly down and be just as successful without putting in all of that work, but just know that the property holds birds. So something I want to bring up about roosting areas, especially on public land. If you're hunting on private land, be very, very, very clear communicating with landowners. Find out if anybody else is allowed to be on the property, if there's dog walkers or people using recreational vehicles. Make sure you're the only hunter on private land so bad things don't happen. And if there is somebody else, get their phone number, try to communicate with them. Finding the roosting area is very important, especially on public land, because you want to be the first one there. That other hunter that doesn't take the time to scout, to put in the time, the energy, the effort, the scouting, the binoculars, the, said it before, boots on the ground to find where the birds are. You want to be the first one there before Elmer Fudd shows up, walks over your shoulder, and screws it all up on you. You want to be the first one there. Optimistic with hunter etiquette, if your vehicle is the first one parked at the gate, in the parking area, get to where you need to be, establish yourself and your presence before anybody else shows up.